You know, people get up every day, they do the same thing, they tell themselves they're gonna change their life one day, and they never do. I'm gonna change mine.
How bad do you want this? If it's as bad as you wanna live or breathe or sleep, whatever the hell it may be, I can work with you. But a lot of people don't want it that badly, which is why they always ask the question, man, how did you get to where you are?
And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
And the feeling I had every morning when I looked in the mirror was horrible. And I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And how I felt was a kid going nowhere, a kid that was scared. And most kids will accept that and look for help. But the best thing that happened to me, no one helped me. No one felt sorry for me.
If you want something bad enough, you can't let anybody tell you you can't do something, not even yourself.
I had to figure out I wasn't going to be a punk kid all my life. So the only way I could turn it around was to suffer. I had to build calluses in my brain the same way I built calluses on my hands.
Every man has two lives, and the second starts when he realizes he has just one.
The most powerful thing we have is our fucking brain, is our mind, and we don't use it anymore.
What would your life be like if you made use of all the potential that you were offered? Say, okay, well, I'll just try that for a year. I'm going to do the best I can at everything that offers itself to me. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to see, well, is my life better or is my life worse? It's like, you try it for a year, you think, it's actually better. My friendships are better, my family's better, I'm less anxious, I'm more positively oriented, I'm less resentful and bitter and jealous and angry. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm more physically healthy. It's like, what happens if you did that for 5 years?
What you will realize is that you have greatness within you. What you'll realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine. What you will realize is that you're greater than your circumstances, that you don't have to go through life being a victim.
When I was in the military, we go on these instructor-led runs. Most of the time we knew the start and end point. So on the way back, I started seeing people getting happy because the end was near. But there were some soul instructors that would hear the happiness and go right on past the end point. When that happened, everybody stopped talking, heads would start dropping, and I started taking souls. At that time, I knew what happened in their minds. They were living off the hope factor. They hoped the instructors would stop running. They hoped the water was never cold. They hoped the weather was good. I don't live off that hope. I wish the water was cold. I wish them fucking instructors keep on fucking running. I wish for fucking rain. When the ending is unknown and the distance is unknown, that's when you know who the fuck you are.
Life, guys, it's a plan of action. If you don't have the plan, I guarantee you someone's going to use you as part of their fucking plan. Stop and go on about the day as a servant. Become the master. Run your day and stop having it run you. Believe in yourself. Be that one of 100 that has a belief instead of just jaw-jack talk of intent. Huge differential there. Differential is somebody just breathing life and the other one taking the most of the opportunity of time of life. Remembrance. Otherwise, forgotten.
The whole world is in chess. Any move can be the death of you. Do anything except remain where you started, and you cannot be sure of your end.
When I was 21 years old, I was living in a little apartment. I was working on a construction job. It was 35 degrees below zero outside. I didn't have a car. I didn't have any money in the bank. My clothes were old. I had failed out of high school. And I looked around me in that cold winter in that little apartment with no future and not much of a past. And I said to myself, if ever I want anything to change, it's up to me. That's the time where I really got scared. It suddenly hit me right between the eyes that if I wanted my life to be different, it was up to me to make my life different.
If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, And if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, you besiege and beset it with the help of God, you'll get it.
Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? You got to have a plan. And when you're trying to do something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B.
The starting point of taking complete charge of your life, the starting point of great success and great achievement, is to accept complete, unconditional responsibility. If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to you.
I'm going to tell you something, that if you're not a little bit afraid, at least 3 or 4 nights a week, you're not trying hard enough.
Most people, the bottom 80%, are lazy, and they're looking for an easy way. They're looking for a shortcut to be successful, and there aren't any.
The feeling I feel right now, as bad as it feels, is a fucking hell of a lot better feeling than a life where you throw the towel in. That's something you never recover from. Tomorrow morning, I'll wake up stronger. I'll feel alive, and I'll have the belief and confidence backing me up. After a good night's rest, I can only get better. When the towel's down in life, there's no more rounds, man. You throw it in. I feel like right now, if I can put the towel back up, I'm gonna be stronger tomorrow, the next round.
My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. And our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
We have this governor on our brain, and how you start pushing past that governor, start realizing your brain has the tactical advantage over you. Why? Because it knows your insecurities. It knows when you're lying, it knows your fears, it knows everything about you.
Now, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying, I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it.
If you have to ask how to get motivated to go to the gym, you don't need to be going to the gym. You don't want it enough. When you're sick and tired of looking and feeling like you'll show up, I'll see you there, because you're gonna look in the mirror and you're gonna be like, that. You're gonna want to be in the gym. And if you're gonna make this a lifestyle, you have to lower the barriers, make the gym cheaper, closer, training partners, exercises you like, and you have to raise the impetus, goals, inspiration, and a fucking goddamn real desire to be there. The people that have no problem showing up to the gym are the people that wanna be there. And no amount of Rocky Balboa movies are gonna get you to that place. A lot of that is also built with the experience of having the gym be a place where you get results by pushing yourself, winning little mini challenges, and having fun with it.
Try to find a thing that you really enjoy. Try to find a thing that you're passionate about. Find something. Find a thing that you genuinely enjoy, because getting good at things you genuinely enjoy is extremely beneficial. Everybody thinks they're a loser. Every young person thinks they're a loser. At least a young person in the situation I was at. Like, I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning, until I started doing martial arts. Martial arts taught me that, like, I could get better at stuff.
Why do you think it says, take the opportunity? It doesn't say receive the opportunity. Right. It doesn't say have the opportunity granted to you. It doesn't say get lucky with the opportunity. It says take the opportunity. You know what that means? That means you have to seize it. That means you have to take it. No one's going to give it to you. No one's going to come and say, here, I got this path. You can make $1 million a year or $10 million a year. If you do, no one, that's not how it works, bro. True high achievers, they look for the lane and then they take the opportunity by taking initiative. And a lot of people don't like to do that because they do this. Well, what if I do all this and they don't recognize me? I'm not going to put in all this work and, you know, can have them not pay me for my blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something, bro, that's loser talk. Because here's the reality. If you took the opportunity, you learned the skills, you learned how to solve the problems, and you were actually valuable, and your place of business doesn't recognize it, you just learned a whole new set of skills that you could take elsewhere and make more money.
You might have this mindset of ambition, of being and doing more in life, of making more money and you know, being that one to break the generational financial curse in your family, yet you put yourself around people who are of the take it easy mindset.
Develop the qualities of courage and persistence. I said before, the biggest single obstacle to success is the fear of failure. The antidote to the fear of failure is the habit of courage. And what we know is that you need two types of courage to succeed. The first type of courage is the courage to begin. It's the courage to launch with no guarantees of success. Someone once said that if all obstacles must first be removed, nothing will ever get done.
You cannot let a fear of failure or a fear of comparison or a fear of judgment stop you from doing what's going to make you great. You cannot succeed without this risk of failure. You cannot have a voice without the risk of criticism. And you cannot love without the risk of loss. You must go out and you must take these risks. Everything I'm truly proud of in this life has been a terrifying prospect to me. From my first play, to hosting Saturday Night Live, to getting married, to being a father, to speaking to you today. None of it comes easy. And people will tell you to do what makes you happy. But a lot of this has been hard work, and I'm not always happy. And I don't think you should do just what makes you happy. I think you should do what makes you great. Do what's uncomfortable and scary and hard, but pays off in the long run.
What makes you uniquely you? I think a lot of times folks, especially young folks who I tend to empathize with and speak to more often, they're not comfortable because they're going along with the society that's around them, and they're trying to fit in the framework of what everyone around them or on whatever social media they're on says that they should be, how they should look, how they should conduct themselves. And you can't be comfortable with yourself if you don't know who yourself is. And you can't know who yourself is if you don't stop looking at how everybody around you is and start looking at what makes you comfortable and what makes you uniquely you. There's roughly close to, I guess, about 8 billion people on this planet, but there's only one you. Would you stand out in a crowd?
Listen to the pain. It's both history teacher and fortune teller. Pain teaches us who we are, Wade. Sometimes it's so bad, we feel like we're dying. But we can't really live till we die a little, can we?
Do or do not. There is no try.
Everybody just wants to be comfortable. Everybody wants to sit in the car. I don't want to go outside, it's cold. I don't want to do this, it's hot. Like, you've got to do things that you don't want to do because you show your body that your mind is the boss.
The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Go for the discipline because it weighs ounces. The regret weighs tons because it can accumulate.
Never looking back, man. 3:30 in the morning. Why not, man? Most of my competition's just gonna be getting up in a couple hours. But I'll never look back and say, you know what? There's some hours, some pockets of my existence where I could have applied more. And now, later in life, where I came up short, I go, man, that's where I could have picked up a few inches, could have picked up a little bit more there, a little bit more there, and that would have made a difference with my hand being raised or not. No. I'm the best I can be moving forward. I've done that. I solidified that through all my hard work in here. Giving my all now, so I never have to wonder what if later. That's never looking back, man. Looking forward and kicking.
If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. Complain, point at your circumstances, give up your power, blame the government, blame the economy. If you do what is easy, your life will take ownership. It's hard to swallow the bitter pill that wherever you find yourself, at some point in time, you made an appointment to be there. That's hard. That's hard. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy.
You know what I'm sick and tired of, Harry? I'm sick and tired of having to eke my way through life. I'm sick and tired of being a nobody.
The heaviest things in life aren't iron and gold, but unmade decisions. The reason you are stressed is that you have decisions to make, and you're not making them.
Be consistent in your relationships. Be consistent in your work. Make it so that you are the type of person that everybody can depend upon, that people will believe in and they'll depend upon, and they know that if you say something, that you'll do it. That if you say you will be somewhere, or if you undertake a responsibility, that you will fulfill that responsibility. That sort of consistency, that sort of dependability is one of the most valuable things in the world of work today.
I wanted to read you a quote from 2013 that you said. I've lost my mind on this game like Vincent van Gogh. Dedicated his life to his art, and he lost his mind in the process. That's happened to me, but f*** it. When that gold belt is around my waist, and my mother has a big mansion, my girlfriend has a car for every day of the week, and my kids' kids get everything they ever wanted, then it will pay. Then I'll be happy. I lost my mind.
If I see something, I see an opportunity, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We're all gonna die one day.
Yeah, it's true.
So we live like that. Live like you could die tomorrow. I always felt like I could do anything. That's the main thing people are controlled by. Thoughts, their perception of themselves. They're slowed down by their perception of themselves. If you're taught you can't do anything, you won't do anything. I was taught I could do everything.
There's no losing, only learning. There's no failure, only opportunities. And there's no problems, only solutions. So to me, what failure is the mother of all success.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it, you can influence it, you can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing.
Your brain is the most powerful weapon in the world. Once you put away your phones and your computers and all that we have nowadays, that's great. We're up to date, but your brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, you're going through death, real life. You can't Google that, man.
See if you can find some ways to multiply your value to the marketplace. And he said your income will immediately start to change. Up until then, I was hoping that the economy would change. I was hoping that my company would change. I was hoping that my paycheck would change. I was hoping that circumstances outside would change. And then here's what I found out. It isn't going to change. So then my question was, if it isn't going to change, how will my life ever change? And here's what my teacher taught me. When you change, everything will change for you.
We're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your fucking book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book? If the ending to my book can be so amazing because of all that was done, all of the things that can be associated with you and your existence, become a part of the chapters in your book.
Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you want to go. This year, I'm going to get better at that. Next year, this, and then so forth and so on. And then patiently, I was able to catch them.
Life is not easy. It is not. Don't try to make it that way. Life's not fair. It never was. It isn't now, and it won't ever be. Do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap, of feeling like you're a victim. You are not. Get over it and get on with it. And yes, most things are more rewarding when you break a sweat to get them.
You are one decision, one relationship, one thought, one emotion, one meeting away from a completely different life. And unless you believe, first off, I'm right about that, it's true. But unless you believe that, and then you program your reticular activating system in your brain to find those things, you will never have them happen to you. But if you begin to believe, I'm one meeting away from a different life, I'm one decision away, I'm one podcast away, I'm hearing one guy in the United States away from changing my life forever. Now, sometimes it's a series of those decisions, a series of those relationships, a series of those meetings.
Don't let what you can't do in the moment interfere with what you know you can do. I mean, don't let the pain can rob you of your belief of what you can be. Because your body hears everything your mind says. And anytime you have any kind of discourse, or you can be subject to the discomforts of the situation, your body remembers that, and your body's just the messenger.
I don't care what you're going to do, but go out there and make something of yourself for God's sake. Be an honest person and work and get to the top of whatever it is that you want to get to the top of. And then stand up for yourself like a respectable human being and be a bit of a light on the world instead of a blight, And you can tell young people that, and they haven't been told that by anyone now. And so the young men are so hungry for that it's painful to watch. They're so relieved when someone finally comes up and says, hey, you get your act together a bit, discipline yourself, see if you can learn to tell the truth, concentrate on something for a year or two, you could be a bloody world beater.
I'm trying to build people up. I'm trying to armor their mind. I'm trying to get them the belief. Because this world we live in is tough. It will beat you down. The world and the life that we live in is the ultimate competitor.
Whatever it is that you would like to do better, act as though you're a top-flight expert at it. And if you continue to play this part long enough, you will become an expert. When Arnold Palmer was 10 years old and on his way to becoming the world's greatest golfer of his time, he used to pretend that he was playing in national tournaments. He would even pretend to be the sports commentator announcing that the champion, Arnold Palmer, was now getting ready to tee off. You can take a great many strokes off your golf game simply by pretending you're playing in a great tournament, and that every time you swing or putt, you're surrounded by a large gallery and the television cameras. You'll find that you take more time, line up your shots better, and swing more like the pros and less like the duffers. If you can get a mental image of the person you would most like to become, begin now to act as that person would act in everything you do. Gradually, imperceptibly, you will actually become that person.
I cut my hand in the very beginning of this. I said, dude, it hurts, man, I can't go on. It's so easy to make that excuse, and you know what? I can live with that. That's a viable excuse, right? But is it the truth? Can you go on? What else do you want? Is this stronger than your dreams? And you put as much time and attention into your dreams as you do your fears. That makes sense to you guys? So many people think all day long on what they're scared of. Before a wrestling match, back in the day, I remember a lot of my opponents be like, oh man, what happens if I lose? What happens if I get caught? What happens if they take me down? What the f are we talking about? All that tension, all that energy going into the possibility of failure. Why can't the individual, the human, erase that mentality and put all that tension is, how great it's gonna feel when I pin that motherfucker, when I take him down, when I beat him down in front of his home crowd, when I win something, when I go after something, when I put the work in and achieve it. Why don't we think that way? We're always thinking about losing something being taken from us, trying to maintain what we have. Like we can't lose this, it's so valuable. Why do we think that way? Why are we always thinking about the fears, the worst case scenario? All we do is put all that energy in there. Why don't we put the energy into the dreams that can be? The reason why you're doing that, if you are putting all that time and effort into fears, instead of your dreams, it's because you're not doing this enough. You're not working hard enough. You're not studying hard enough. You're not burning the midnight oil every night, which prevents you from staying awake in the midnight hours later in life wondering what it could have been.
You know, if every time someone asks you a question, you try to say the right answer, your entire life is a test. And when did you have the most anxiety in grammar school and high school? No question. On test day. No question. So your entire life become this test. I ain't trying to say the right answer. I am just doing what I feel. My mama said trying is failing. There is no ifs, woulds, coulds, shoulds. It just is, and we just are.
I don't know nobody that's not trying to be happy or successful. If you're not trying to be those two things, something's seriously wrong. Why would you not go for it? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
Life is suffering. What do you do about that? You voluntarily accept it and then strive to overcome the suffering that's a consequence of that. And the other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting, because do you have anything better to do? Really? Why not pick the best thing possible that you could do?
Some of y'all don't want it. That's why you ain't got it. The excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Because you grew up in a household with dysfunction, drama, mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional abuse. Doesn't mean that that's the outcome of what your life, your career is destined to be. Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. There's pretty much nothing that you could say that you went through that I haven't went through, and I'm still here. Some of y'all may connect success to me being famous. There are people that are way more successful than me financially, success-wise, career-wise, and they're not famous at all. Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. Get in shape. Get off the pity potty. It's time to take to another level. It's game on. It's go season.
Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. Now, you can also be too reckless, but you can also be too cautious. This is called the timid approach to life. And my caution was always the risk. Risk used to drive me right up the wall. I used to say, what if this happens? It's called the language of the poor. What if this happens? And on top of that, if this was to happen, look at the fix I'd be in. I better not try. I could always ace myself out. Then I'll tell you what changed my whole life when I finally discovered it's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying.
The path of the exceptional person is one of an exception, which means that you are not with other people. And rather than fighting that or bemoaning it, see it as an indicator that you're on the right path. Because if everyone else were cheering you on, then it means you're not in the right place, because it means you're just like everyone else, and that's not where you want to be.
What would have had to have happened in a week for you to look back on that week with pride? Okay, maybe stop breaking promises to yourself. When you say, I'm going to wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m., and when the option comes to hit the snooze button, don't do it. There's one win that you've got for the day. That's action.
Champions just interpret anxiety as excitement. And if you're excited to...
The first question to ponder when you go home is why. Here's another good answer to why. It's the second question. Let's see how many skills you can develop. Why not see what kind of person you can become and have? I want you to give thoughtful consideration to your goals. And my personal question to you is, why not you? You've got the brains. You can make decisions. You can study the plan. You can change your life. You can grow immensely in the next few years. You can make your dreams come true. You can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through. You can become healthy. You can become powerful. Why not you? And now here's my last question. My very last question on the questions to ponder is, why not now? There never was a better time. And what a time now for us to take this dream and not let it die. Take this dream and give it life. Take this dream and breathe into it your own personal spirit until finally it becomes a flame that burns around the whole world. Let's go do it now.
We don't rise to the standards we have when others are watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are.
You have to accept that all your excuses are lies. They are lies, all of them. Think about the things that you tell yourself, the lies you use to rationalize taking the easy road. Taking the easy road and leaving.
Dare to go forward. Whenever you have a choice of either staying still and playing it safe or moving forward, move forward, not